I'm very happy to have the honor to interview one of the co-writers of the Agile People Principles book, and also one of the co-writers of the Agile People Manifesto. Thank you so much. And this is a wonderful woman who's living in the Netherlands, but also coming from a very diverse background, also professionally and personally. And she's going to tell us more about them. And what has been drawing me to be able to organize this interview with her, Inanç, is that she has a lot of diversity. She is quite similar to me. She has been working for almost 20 years all over the world. She has children, and she'll tell us more maybe about her family and how she adapted to live in a different culture and what she's doing about it. And she has some very interesting expertise in cultural change. So I will invite you to say about yourself a few words, and afterwards, please answer the most important question: what led you to be part of the Agile People community?
Okay. Thank you very much, Christina. Yes, indeed, I have a different cultural differences experience in my life, personally and also professionally. As I also used as an introduction into my article within this Agile Principles books, I lived 2 years, for example, in Kazakhstan. Maybe some people who either don't know where Kazakhstan is located. It's a post-Russian country. It's a very big country. Even the Russians were making the satellite experiments in Kazakhstan because it's a huge territory. And I think that was really, really teaching, working environment for me. Also, I made my MA degree on cultural management in Italy, in Bologna University, which is the oldest university in Europe. I learned a lot also there. I made my thesis on intercultural dialogue. Maybe because of that reason, I was always interested in intercultural dialogue, and I'm still drawn into that area. I worked in Sweden, in Germany, in Kazakhstan, in Turkey. By the way, I'm coming from Istanbul. And now I moved last year to the Netherlands with my 11 years old daughter. Why I moved? Because we established a joint venture company, Dutch-Turkish company here. And I wanted that my daughter also grow in an intercultural country. And I think that Holland is one of the best example for that. Yeah, to be a single mother in a new country and to make business here, and especially in COVID time, is not so easy, of course. But I think that it really teaches you a lot, and you really develop yourself if you want it. And when I come to your questions, why I'm together with Agile People community. Indeed, I really believe that it's a fascinating community because it's the participants, the community members are coming from all over the world, from USA to New Zealand. For example, I have very nice friend coming from New Zealand, and then I met with you during our online sessions together. So it connects the people, but it connects the people, like-minded people. I think that all of Agile people in this community want to contribute in the future of work. And they really want to contribute to change it, to value the employees, to value customers, in the end of the day, to value human beings. And I think that we are growing so fast, and people are interested in us because they can feel this authenticity and this driver and motivation coming from our side. So because of that reason, I participate Agile People. By coincidence, I met with Pia Maria, but I will not go into detail. but somehow we missed our planes together. I was coming to Amsterdam, she was going back to the Stockholm, and we somehow, because of the delay and mixture of plane, we spent 1.5 hours in the waiting lunch, and we drank wine, and then I explained my model about how we are approaching this, the people importance, and then she invited me to Sweden, indeed, to her house last year in June, and it was very funny, and I accepted to go there, and there we created this Agile People Manifesto, and I am the only one who contributed from Turkey, and I am a woman, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm trying to work in the Netherlands and in Turkey too, so I'm a little bit, feel myself very lucky to meet with her and to participate this community and to know you all the guys, so.
Okay, it's a great answer, and you see that the universe is working in very interesting ways to fulfill our dreams or maybe our vocation. It's also an agile way of approaching every opportunity as an opportunity. Try, experiment, learn from it, and see where it goes.
Yes.
Thank you. Why did you choose to work on that specific chapter in the Agile Principle book? Your chapter is called Tell Why and What and Leave the How to the People.
I chose it because I believe that the purpose is the most important thing in our life. By purpose, we mean the correlation also with the meaning and the intrinsic motivation. So indeed, this is a search to find an answer for that questions. What we are doing in this life, what we will want to achieve. What gives us a meaning. So for what reason we are going up, waking up every day. So these questions are always in my mind. I think most of the people indeed are looking for these answers, and it's not so easy. You need to go out from comfort zone, you need to work on it. And in my company in Turkey, we were always working on this behavioral economics, organizational psychology, but at the same time, how we can align strategy. But in the end of these long years, we come up that purpose is the most important things, because purpose indeed, this is the thing that you know why you are living and for what you are living. And then after, if you know these things, if you know this is some kind of to go somewhere, and you somehow feel the roads. In Turkish, I saw recently, there's a saying, there is always a road for who are going to the roads. So there is something there, and there are many roads. But if you want to achieve this, you will somehow find a way. So because of that reason, I chose this. And plus, my Kazakhstan experience was a really good teacher for that, because I will not go in detail, but in short, it was a really lifetime experience for me, because we were coming from different parts of the world. There was also a creative director from USA, by the way, in Kazakhstan. There are many colleagues from Hungary at the same time, of course, ex-Russian countries. And at the beginning, we really had problems, all of us. It was really chaotic environment, but somehow, after we realized that, we came up to align our purposes. Even I was somehow somewhere useless, because the team was working on their own way. They already knew how they are working. And because of that reason, I wanted to share my experience, and I wanted to explain how we can articulate the purpose. Because of that reason, I chose this subject.
Thank you. Can you tell me more about how did the Agile Principles change your perspective on things? Were you familiar with Agile Principles for a long time, or was just a revelation in the last years? How did you manage to go there?
Indeed, I'm in the strategic communication and management consultancy approximately for 15 years. And before that, I also have a similar experience like you in financial sectors. I'm graduated from economic department. So in management consultancy and so on, you are always thinking in the analytical part. You are always thinking more about processes, linear processes, cost cutting or profit. these kinds of things. Approximately more than 3 years ago, I began to be interested in Agile. But during that time also, mostly the Agile was coming from the tools and methodologies. But I don't believe that Agile is a methodology. It's indeed a cultural mindset, and it's related to the human behavior. So, and these are intangible assets. And it's not so easy to change the behavior. Of course, you can change process much easier in it, but you cannot change the human behavior so easily. And when I was thinking about this, especially after I met with Pia Maria and this with Agile People community, we began to, before that also, according to my approach also, the human was always in the center. But afterwards, we began to articulate always principles, agile principles, agile principles. Principles maybe at the beginning may sound a little bit conceptual, but in the end of the day, the principles are really correlated with the values of the people. They give the meaning to you. And if you are instead of focusing on tools and processes, if you can focus on principles that unite your team and organizational culture, then maybe at the beginning you need to work a little bit harder, but I absolutely believe that in the end you will have much more meaningful outcome. And because of that reason, the principles even convince me that this is the focus area that I need to focus first, not the tools and processes. That's how it changed my perspective also.
Okay, thank you for the answer. A question that has been asked to me a lot of times was, how do you manage to align the people on the same focus or on the same values, as long as they are coming from very different areas of the organization, or even from very different cultural backgrounds, different countries? And I think this is going to grow as an importance, as a question, as long as we still are working remote, we are interacting all over the world in just one call. So how do you align people around mutual purpose in order to get the results that the organization, the team, the project wants?
Yeah, indeed, absolutely, you are right. I mean, after this COVID crisis, the workforce will be absolutely not the same as before, I guess. And yes, you are now talking from Romania, right?
Yes.
Me, I'm talking from Den Haag, the Netherlands, for example.
Yes.
And it's so normal nowadays. I mean, before COVID, it was some kind of technical thing. So how do we combine? I think again I will emphasize the phrase purpose alignment. First of all, you need to understand if you are aligned on your purpose. If you have an organization and teams which are aligned, which are carrying the similar values. Of course, everybody shouldn't have the same values, but it's important to analyze it. Since we were always working with the people, we were working, for example, for crisis management, we were working for community building, we were making political campaigns. It's all about the human, and you need to find a purpose that you can unite the people around it. That's the most important thing. But how we align, of course, this is easier said than done. Based on our approximately 20 years experience, because my company has also a research background in company, we were always thinking about how we can articulate this purpose, because this is an intangible thing. This is an intangible asset. For example, in order to understand the individuals, we can make the REASE motivation profile. In order to understand the patterns and sub-patterns within the company, we are measuring what are the drivers, motivators, and enablers within the company. There's an online survey for that. But before these online surveys, we are always talking with people. We are listening to people. We are listening to the manager, we are receiving their perspective, what their purpose, and then we are listening to we are making focus group with the different layers of employees, mixed ones. And we are listening also to them. You also emphasize a lot during your interview. It's very important to listen to people. It's very important to understand their needs, and it's very important to understand the general needs of the company, customer. So we are working on this approach. And then it becomes for us, this is our way of working, of course, there are other approaches, but for us it becomes articulated what the purpose. And then afterwards, we also find informal leaders within the company. What is informal leaders? For example, you in your company is a trusted person. If you are a trusted person, your name is always there. For example, even in a company where the engagement level is low, if you ask somebody who you trust in that company, if you are the one, it's always like that, your name will be mentioned there. And we are trying to convince these informal leaders within our projects to align them with the company purpose. And then these people really help us to explode our ideas. And because we use this model in crisis management, in political campaigns, this works. So this is our approach, and this is how we are gathering the people.
Okay, great, very interesting, and I will try that the same approach with my projects also.
Okay.
Well, if you were to focus on one management challenge that is everybody facing now, coming from your customers or maybe from your own professional activity this year, what would be the one management challenge that is really there in front of us?
Yeah, indeed. I think nowadays, I mean, we were already in VUCA world, plus now we are in post-COVID crisis, and there are many management challenges for all of us. And now there's these remote things. I think the most important challenge is how we will keep this purpose alignment, how we will motivate people to work together and get a real valuable outcome. So this is the most important challenge, and how we will, how I would overcome it. I would really sit down and rethink about our positioning. Our approach is always try to understand what is our strategy, what is our structure, and what is our culture. Maybe if I was, for example, let's say I was a CEO of a very big company, I will really sit down and work to analyze our company now. Listen to the people, analyze the situation. If the strategy is old, and if I need to work again on the value proposition again, I will spend some time on that, and then begin with this purpose alignment.
Okay. Can I ask you, how did the crisis impacted you so far this year? And did you use any agile practices to overcome this situation?
Yeah, indeed, like everybody in the world, I am also impacted. For example, last year at the end of August, indeed, it's almost 1 year that I moved here in the Netherlands. At the beginning, for example, I just moved and I had participated in organizational behavior management course in Amsterdam University. I was working and so on. And then after I just bought furniture for my home, I began to go to the trainings to Turkey, because I moved to the Netherlands and my clients from Turkey requested me to get offline trainings before crisis. And I was spending almost 2 weeks in a month in Turkey during that time. Even my neighbors were making fun of me that I'm always carrying the luggage. But during the COVID, and of course, I had a lot of plans. Even we had organized a workshop in Turkey with Pia Maria, the writing a book, translating a book, making conference speech, blah, blah. But at the beginning of March, everything is locked down. And what we do as Agile, we translated everything into online trainings, but it was really hard work, and you also was some part of it, really attending intensive sessions together. we made this, and then we proposed to our Turkish clients. Yes, now offline trainings are finished. Now everything is online. But of course, you need to explain how will be the difference. Will it be the same quality, and so on. It's also a little bit time. So you are just switching from one thing to another thing. Plus, I proposed to my Dutch business partner that we create a training for agile crisis management. Because in 2005, my first job for this consultancy group was to manage a crisis management. And I'm coming from Turkey, so we always have crisis indeed.
I know, I know.
Yes, you can understand this. So maybe this is in our DNA. We are already trying to be very agile for everything. We need to find a solution quick. And then we made this agile crisis management training, for example. And our first launch was very successful. So, like most of us, indeed, we just analyze the situation and we analyze what we have in hand, and what our clients are expecting, what can be add more value to them, and then we created other products for that. So this is it. And it was not so easy, I should admit, because the schools also are locked down, and my 11 years daughter also was at home during that time. But I think that the power of the humanity is the adaptation, and we can adapt really fast to the new circumstances. So.
Okay, thank you so much for the interview. It was really inspiring. And watch out our conference schedule for September, right?
Yes, 9th and 10th of September. There are more than 100 sessions, as I remember correctly. Yes.
Yeah, we are very proud of it. Thank you.